In this video, we are going to be talking blind spots. What do I mean by blind spots? For all the great strengths in our personalities, they can be perceived by people who are polar opposite to us in a completely different light. Using that DISC system, dominant, influence, steadiness, and compliant, let's look at those 4 areas and look at how they can be perceived by someone polar opposite. So jumping in on the D, remember that is the outgoing task-focused people. 2 great D describing words are direct and determined. But actually to somebody who is opposite to that, if you're direct, as in you might just answer yes, no to a question. Did you see the project layout for next week? Yes. Did you see the project layout for next week? No. A bit direct, that can actually be seen to somebody who is polar opposite as quite rude. And determined, they're determined to get things started, get things finished, move it on. The kind of person that actually would make that kind of gesture in the hand, they're determined to get things done, could be seen as quite reckless. So for the strengths of the D style, being direct and determined, could be seen by somebody who is polar opposite as rude and reckless. Staying with the outgoing people, I, influence. Now, 2 great I describing words are impulsive and influential. Impulsive as in they'll just do things. They will be impulsive. They'll make decisions. They'll just go, yeah, let's do this and let's do that. If you're an I style, I bet you've got something in your wardrobe that you bought impulsively in a sale and it's still got the label and you never wore it. You know, those are the kind of things that we just impulsively do. Well, actually in the workplace, that could be seen as unprofessional. Why have you just done that? And influential, the types of people that will help influence other people's thought process or outcome. You know, if you want somebody to go on a Tuesday rather than go on the Monday. No, but Tuesday's a much better day. I've looked at the weather. It's going to be a better day for us. Tuesday will be better because everyone will be there on Tuesday. Yeah, they're being influential in how that decision is made. That could be seen, especially in the workplace, as somebody who is manipulative. So for the great strengths of the I style, being impulsive and influential could actually be coming across as unprofessional and manipulative. Now, you're probably sitting there thinking, this is all great, Vic, but how do I remember all of this without having to look at all your videos? Well, you're in luck there, because I have put together a free download. There's a link in the description. Go along, have a look at it, and it gives you everything that I talk about in terms of personalities. So staying with our orientated people, but reserved, so S, steadiness. 2 of those great S describing words are sensitive and supportive. Sensitive to other people's feelings. So if things are going to change, say for example you've got a date in the diary that's got a date, a time and a location of a meeting, and the organiser has decided to change 1, 2 or even all 3 of those. You know, say just the meeting's moved on an hour. The S stars could be sensitive to saying, well actually, what about Vic? She's got to pick the kids up from school, so that's not going to work for her if we've moved it on an hour. You know, what about, so they've got to, there's another meeting I know in the diary and they want to be at that meeting. So S, in terms of being sensitive to other people's feelings, actually could be seen as resistant to change. I'm only moving a meeting on an hour. Why do you have to think about everybody else? You know, it's my meeting, I'm going to move it. And supportive, they're supportive of other people, supportive of things around them. They could be supportive in terms of other people's workloads. Yep, so somebody's got a lot on their plate. They could turn around and say, oh, yeah, no, let me help. Let me take that on for you. Let me get that reassigned for you. Let me do this for you. To somebody who's polar opposite, they could be seen as a bit of a pushover. Oh, it's fine. Load it on Vic, she'll take it on, no worries. So sensitive and supportive are great strengths, but to somebody who's polar opposite, could be seen as resistant to change and a pushover. And finally, our C, compliance. 2 great C words for there is careful and correct. Careful in terms of they'll be very careful, perhaps before they make a decision. You know, they will think, okay, what's the impact? Have we looked at everything that we need to do? Is everything taken into consideration? Is this the right answer for us? So in terms of being careful, could come across to somebody who's polar opposite as fearful. And correct, as in they need to be correct. They need to have everything done correctly. If a job is worth doing well, it's worth doing well and correctly. So they won't make hasty decisions. They will make decisions, but they'll need to be the correct decisions. To somebody who is polar opposite to the C style, they could see it as a bit picky. You know, a bit like, oh, make the decision. If it needs to be correct. We need to look at all of the impact of this financial flow, cash flow that we're looking at. Oh, don't be so picky about the cost of a pen, you know, but they said, no, if we're going to have 100 pens in this project, I need to know what the costs are, because we need to know what the correct profit line is on of this. C, some of the great strengths of the C's being careful and being correct could come across to somebody who isn't strong in the C style as fearful and picky. Now, this is all great. It's not about labelling people. It's not about saying this is who you are, and it's not an excuse for bad behaviour. But understanding our personalities is the start of it. So when you can recognise, understand and respect our differences, you can understand that everybody has a place and everybody has a role in this thing called life. If you're enjoying this, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel as I talk about personalities and everything that goes with it. I'm Vic O'Farrell, Queen of Behaviours, award-winning personality profiler, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.